Oh, hello there. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Hot Topic series. Today's hot topic is the War on Tips. We're going to read a fascinating short article in the Guardian newspaper about some practices that are going on in the UK. We might associate tipping more with the United States, so it'll be interesting to talk about what the custom is in your country and what you've had to deal with, perhaps with tourists from other countries regarding this, and what's going on in this particular set of restaurants, fast food restaurants, how that relates to working people, the economy, and many other things. The war on tips coming up in just a moment. But first, let me do just a quick introduction. We'll wait for people to come in, and then we will get started. So, I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, or you go to my profile page, it'll take you right here, where, as you can see, on the left side, you can follow me to get notifications of my upcoming group classes. And on the right, you can book a private tutoring session or buy a package with me. I will work with you on creating a personalized learning plan, something to help get you to your goals as soon as possible. But I just ask, if you're interested, send me a message first before you book so that I know that I have time for you in my schedule. Okay, let's take a look at the material. Our presentation is here, and I'm going to give you a copy of it. If you want to open it up on your computer, there it is in the Verbling chat, and here it is in the Google group chat. Okay, while we're waiting for everyone else to come in, let me just say hello and make sure your microphones are working. So, first person I saw was Mr. Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Hello, John.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's see, Mohammed, I think I've seen you before. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. Excellent to have you back. Let's say hello to Mr. Vincenzo. Hello, Vincenzo. How are you?
I'm fine, teacher. What about
Very
you?
good. Pretty good, pretty good. And we have Alina as well. Hello, Alina. How are you today?
Hello, great, thank you. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. All right. Well, we're going to get started. We should have 6 more people joining us pretty soon, but we got to get started. So let's start with or without them. Hey, everyone, take a look at that picture on the screen. Why do you think, first of all, how does the woman feel in that picture? Look at her expression. How do you think she feels? Anyone want to take a guess?
She's surprised.
She is. Mohammed, why do you think she's surprised?
I think she read a great something.
Because she what? One more time. I couldn't hear you.
She reads great something happens.
She read something?
She read. Yes.
That's true. Well, let's take a look at what she read.
I think it's invoice.
Uh-huh. And did she do a good job or a bad job in her service?
I think it's a bad job.
A bad job? Oh my God, but why does it say great service on the invoice? She did a good job because it says great service.
Yeah.
Let's imagine for a second that she is a waitress at a restaurant. Let's imagine that. Look at the bottom line of the bill. Let's imagine that's a bill and she is a waitress. By the way, let me just say a quick hello to Sylvia. Hello, Sylvia. Welcome back.
Hello.
Nice
How
to
are
see
you?
you. Good. Mr. Jose, welcome back.
Hello, John.
So, class, at the bottom of the bill, what do you notice about the tip?
Is 0.
It's 0.
0.
What do you think she was expecting to get?
She expect to get something.
Something, not 0. Right. By the way, what is a tip? Just so it's clear for everyone. This is the war over tipping, our article today. The war over tipping. What is a tip?
It is amount of money that the wait or waitress receive for doing a good service or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yes.
A little bit extra, right?
Yes.
A little bit extra. Okay. So she looks pretty surprised because her tip is 0. Yet it says great service at the top of the bill. Okay, we're going to be talking about a specific fast food chain and their policy. That's what the article's about. But it'll be interesting to hear from all of you who are from different countries and what your attitudes are toward tipping and about the policy you're going to read about. Okay, so some vocabulary you need to know. First, of course, you need to know what a tip is, and it's extra money when you do good service. We need to know what a fast food chain is. Okay. By the way, what is a fast food chain? Specifically the word chain. If I say a fast food chain, what do I mean by the word chain in this phrase? What do you think, Vincenzo? What is an example of a fast food chain?
McDonald's, Burger King, no?
Burger King? That was not Vincenzo, but Jose, you're right. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's McDonald's. Yes, but we are going to make some different publicity. Yes, McDonald's, something like McDonald's or whatever.
Exactly. And it's okay to mention them because they may give me a tip. Who knows?
Yes, but I don't say something, teacher, about this picture, no?
What?
To give a tip is facultative. How can I say? Is freely, or in this case there is a tip. The amount of tip. Yes, but I think it's not right in this way, no? Because you can choose your tip. At least in my country, it's like this.
Right. But
yes,
not
they don't have to write tip on a bill. They don't have to write.
Well, actually, I don't agree with you because if you know what, in Italy I don't remember, but I can tell you here in Portugal. There is a space to add a tip. If you pay by card, not every place. Some places you have to manually add the tip to the bill. But let me see. In the United States, for sure, I remember there would be it would be written on the bill, and then you would.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
In this case, it's obbligatorio.
Compulsory.
This is compulsory, but it's very strange. Because in Italy, it's not like this. Yes.
Absolutely.
For me, it's very strange. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. By the way, welcome, Giancarlo. Welcome to class. I didn't see you come in. How are you?
Good morning, John. Fine, thank you.
Very good. Let me ask a quick question before we read the article.
No, because can I say something, teacher? But if the tip depends on the service, if you don't know, if you don't have had a good service, why there is a tip in the
wait, back up a second.
The bill. But
Wait, back up. If you haven't had
a
good
service,
there
it's possible that they write something about the tip. Some euros about the tip. I feel this is strange, That's strange. Because you have to decide if it was a good service or not.
Exactly. So well, that's one of the things we'll talk about, especially after we read. What does it mean to be compulsory? Because in the United States, there are rules. They're not legal rules, they're not laws, but there are social norms, and it's important to understand where they come from, because they seem strange, but when you start to see why we tip, it might not seem as strange as you think. It might not seem that strange after all. So we'll talk about that in just a moment.
John, if you are foreign, you have to follow these rules?
Yes. In the United States, yeah, absolutely. If you don't, the management, depending on where you go, the management will talk to you and they'll want to understand what the problem is.
Okay.
So, however, what can I say? Many foreigners, when they come to the United States, don't follow the social rules or don't know them, and so I guess if you're in a big city, people understand that you might not be upset. You just don't know the normal thing to do. People know, but it doesn't really change the fact that we, the United States, are dependent on those tips, whereas in Europe, it's not quite the same system. But we'll talk about this in a moment. Okay, here's what I want to do. First, I want to ask you, because we're talking about fast food, that's what the article is about. It might seem strange to tip in a fast food restaurant, but let me explain why. So I got two questions. First, think about going out and buying pizza. Does everyone here like pizza?
Yeah.
Does anyone here not like pizza?
No, I doesn't.
Okay. It's the universal food, going back to the time of the Romans. Exactly. Okay. So I want to focus on that second question. Do people in your country normally give tips?
I don't.
If so, in what situations is it usual to tip? Specifically, if you went out to buy a pizza or you ordered a takeaway pizza, would you tip? That's really my question, because that's the situation we're going to read about. So let me go in order that I see you. I'm going to start with Elena. Is it normal to tip in your country, first of all?
Yes, it's
It is?
normally.
Okay. And would you tip if you were ordering takeaway pizza?
No, usually not. If you get takeaway.
Okay, for takeaway, not usual. Okay. Giancarlo, is it normal to tip in Mexico?
It's normal to tip in Mexico, but not in the chain restaurants like McDonald's, for example. Just we tip in Mexico when we order from home. For example,
So if you get any takeaway, you'd tip, yeah?
yeah, exactly. For example, if I order from my home to deliver a pizza, I need to, or I like to tip.
Okay, very good. Jose, what about in Valencia? Do you
In
tip in
Valencia or in Spain, it's almost never normal to give a tip at a restaurant. Almost never. Normal to give a tip at the restaurant.
Remind me not to work in Spain. Okay, very good. Mohammed, tell us about your culture in your country. Is tipping normal?
Oh yeah, it's normal.
And what situations would you tip? Only at a restaurant? Or
And everywhere.
everywhere, really?
Yeah.
Really? Everywhere?
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean everywhere?
When you go to
You don't
to
tip your
small-
dentist.
I'm not doctor.
Okay.
And in
So restaurants
many
normal,
shops, yes, in many, if I go to many shops, tips is must.
Well, what's an example besides a restaurant? I'm just curious. Where else would you tip?
Example, in parking, it's must.
Okay,
Yes.
that's true. Yeah, in the States as well. Okay. So basically, do you mean whenever a person performs a service, you will tip?
Yes.
Is that the idea? Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right, that makes sense. It's like the States. Makes sense. And Sylvia, what about you?
Well, as Jose said, in Spain is no normal, but here in United Kingdom, my mentality changed totally because in United Kingdom it's normal. Give
Right,
a
right,
tip
right.
in all the restaurants, but not
What about
in fast food chain, only
right,
in
not in fast
restaurants
food?
or takeaways.
What about in a pub? Do you tip in a pub?
You can do it, but I
Most
don't do it.
most people
But
don't.
you can, yeah.
Yeah, because they're performing a service. That's why I was curious. Because I don't know, I've never actually spent time in the UK, or not really, so I don't really know what that's like. But everyone goes to pubs. That's why I was curious.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vincenzo, where, when, and how much is normal in Italy?
No, I must say that it's up to you. When you are in a restaurant, you have the possibility. The possibility. It depends on you if you want to leave a tip or not. It's not compulsory. It's not compulsory.
Not compulsory.
Not compulsory. Yes, the same. I can give a tip when in a parking to people. It's normal, no? In this way, normal to give a tip when you are parking your car. I can say the name of the person, the people that is
The
here.
attendance.
Attendance, yes. I don't know. For me, also for the takeaways, they leave give the pizza, bring the pizza without tip. Without tip, they say the cost of the pizza is this. You can pay only for the cost of the pizza, no, without giving it a tip to the person that brings you the pizza. I don't know other. Where is it compulsory? There is, I don't know about other place or other situation when it's compulsory. Yes.
Okay, so here's the question then, especially for Sylvia. Why do people tip in the UK if they don't tip in Spain or Italy?
Maybe because in UK it's normal that part of the salary of the waitress is from the tips.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Vincenzo, do you think that's the case in Italy, that you don't have to tip because the salary is coming from the restaurant, not from the customer? What do you think, Vincenzo?
No, I think that it's a kind of mentality. It seems to me that it's sufficient to pay what they only for the amount of the foods that you have taken to have, but not in order to have to get a tip at the end.
So you don't pay for service, yeah?
No. I think the mentality is that the service is included. It's included, yes. This is the mentality. If you want to give a tip, it's up to you. But it's not compulsory. Yes.
All right. Well, let me ask Giancarlo. Weren't you a waiter or a bartender one time? Did you say that you used to do something like that? Am I crazy?
No. I wasn't.
Or in a hotel? In a hotel or something?
Yeah, I work as a receptionist.
As a receptionist, okay. So,
yeah.
So, if you had Americans staying in your hotel, would they tip you at the reception?
Yes, all the time.
Exactly.
Well,
Why do they do that? Exactly.
We have a system.
And so what? Yeah. Go ahead.
We have a system in which tips were included and tips were delivered to everyone. And
shared. They were shared. Yeah.
The salary was quite low, but plus all the tips that all the guests added or included, the salary was perfect, was okay. And Plus that, of course, when we, for example, score to the guest to a restaurant or to the bathroom or to whatever, most of the time they tip us. I don't know why, because most of the time customers were from different countries, and I imagine that they had this culture to tip us.
Right. Well, let me tell you a story. Does everyone know who Donald Trump is?
Teacher, but I think this is a good habit.
Wait,
Because
one second. Does everyone know? Wait, one second. Does everyone know who Donald Trump is? He's in the news right now.
It is a politician that always are in troubles, no?
Well, he's got a big mouth.
Sometimes.
Yes, got a big mouth. Here's a funny story from New York. True story. I've told this before. I'll tell you again. I used to bartend when I was in university. I wasn't actually in this restaurant. It was a friend of mine who was there. But one of those big not fancy, one of those kind of touristic restaurants in the Midtown Manhattan. A friend of mine was working there as a hostess. Donald Trump came in. So this was like 20 years ago. Donald Trump came in. Every single person that he spoke to at the restaurant, he shook their hand, and it had a $20 bill in it. Every single person in the restaurant. Everyone. If he spoke to you, he shook your hand, and there was a $20 bill in it. It was unbelievable. So if he spoke to you twice, you made $40. That's America. And now he's running for president. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's do this. Let's, very quickly, I want to just go through some vocabulary words that might be difficult. I first want to hear you say them, and afterwards, I want to ask you if there's any words here that you don't know. Let's just do the pronunciation first. I'll say the word 2 times, then I'll say, now you, then I want you to repeat 1 time. You can say them all together. I will hear if there's any difficulty. You don't have to say them separately. I'll hear everyone. Okay? At least I usually don't have problems with that. So let's go through the pronunciation first. The first word, me twice, then you. First word, admin fee. Admin fee. Now you, class?
Admin fee. Admin fee.
Good. Sounds good. Below that, reprisal. Reprisal. Now you.
Reprisal.
Good. Good. Okay, sounds good, everyone. Next word is petition. Petition. Now you.
Petition.
Okay, good. Everyone's got the sh sound at the end. Very good. The next word, this word you surely know, is protesters. Protesters. Now you.
Protesters.
Okay, very good. After that, another word you probably know, deduction. Deduction. Now you.
Deduction.
Deduction.
Okay, very good, very good. So far, everyone sounds good. The next word you might not know, hard-earned. Hard-earned. Now you.
Hard-earned. Hard-earned. Hard-earned.
Okay, very good. Be careful on words with ed because normally we don't add the extra syllable ed. Normally we don't, and here we don't. Notice it's earned, right? Oh my goodness, dogs. Uh-oh, dogs. And here we don't either. It's earned. Okay, the next word you probably know, but it's difficult to pronounce. Anonymous. Anonymous. Now you?
Anonymous.
Very
Anonymous.
good. Okay. After that, the rest I think are pretty easy. We have practice. Practice. Now you?
Practice.
Practice.
Practice. Practice.
Okay. Afterwards, we have tip. Tip. Now you?
Tip.
Tip.
Easy. Good. And the final word is chain. Chain. Now you?
Chain.
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 Excellent. Sounds
Chain.
good. Any words here you absolutely do not understand? Never seen before. Any words are new?
Yes, I don't remember now. What is it?
Which word?
Archer. No, don't remember. Archer, and something like this. I don't remember.
Word? Do you not know?
The word that you said, arch and something like this. I don't remember. Arch and what is it?
I'm not sure which word you mean. You mean hard earned?
Hard earned, yes.
Ah, hard earned. Okay. Okay,
Hard
good. Before I tell you, I want to just see if anyone from the class could define it or give an example. Did anyone give an example of something that might be hard earned? Class, any ideas?
For example, it's a verb. No, it's not a verb, no?
It can be a verb.
Okay.
It can be an adjective or a verb.
Okay, so I hard earned my salary.
Okay, I would say it like this. Let's use it as an adjective. My salary is hard earned. Let's say it like that as an adjective. Okay, Sylvia, my salary is hard earned because...
Because I work a lot of hours this week.
A lot of hours. Excellent. Okay, so what do you think about that, Vincenzo? Is that clear?
Yes, it is clear. Yes, now it's clear. Because I didn't catch the last part of the word. Hard. I didn't know that there was earn. Hard earned.
Exactly.
Hard.
Exactly. Hard earned. You can see it in the chat window. If you click on the Verbling chat window too, you can see the example. The last thing I wrote, my salary is hard earned.
Yes, I wasn't seeing. I wasn't.
That's it.
Yes, I wasn't.
Okay.
Now
Now,
I see.
it's important to remember that the word win and the word earn have two different meanings. I can win the lottery, but I don't win a salary. I earn a salary. Okay? Because in some languages it's the same word, but in English these are two different words. Okay?
Can I make a noun with this word, hard earning?
No, you can't. No, no. It can only be a verb or an adjective. You can make a noun out of earnings, just the word earnings, but not out of hard earnings. It would sound strange to say that. So that's really got to be an adjective. And can hard earn be a verb? I have to hard earn. No, you know what? Once you put the word hard, it must be an adjective. So actually, earn can be a verb and earn can be an adjective, but hard earned, I guess, can only be an adjective. So Sylvia, I think I said it wrong in the beginning. Only an adjective. Earning can be a verb, though. Okay, are there any other words we should clarify, class?
Petition, please.
Petition, okay. I'll give you an example, Mohammed. Let's say the demonstrators petitioned the government to change the laws. The demonstrators petitioned the government to change the laws. What did the demonstrators do in that case, Mohammed?
Force the government to make to fix something.
Precisely, exactly. Now, when you say force, it's true. It's probably trying to force them. Maybe asking them is a better word because the petition is usually a document that everyone signs and they submit. So it's usually in the form of a document and it's a request. But you're right. They're trying to force the government to take action. So to petition is to ask with an attempt to make a big change. Okay? Lawyers can petition as well. All right? Okay, last word. I want to ask you. What is a reprisal? Alina, how would you define reprisal? The bottom left.
Reprisal, that means the violence that you get if you doing something wrong
right? Or maybe not doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So let's be clear. It doesn't really have to be violent, right? It could be. For example, let's see. I don't know. What's a good word for reprisal? I mean, a good example of reprisal. By not turning in your homework, right, the reprisal could be that you get a lower grade. Doesn't mean that I'm going to hit you. I'm not violent, but there is some kind of a
punishment.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be punishment. It could just be an effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's negative. A reprisal is usually a punishment. You're right, but it doesn't have to be a punishment. But yes, it has a negative connotation. A reprisal is. So actually, yes. Let's just say punishment. It makes it easier because it's normally. I just want to say that it might not be a deliberate punishment. It might just be a negative effect, a natural negative effect. But
be
yeah,
a kind of revenge. No.
Could be, yeah, could be. Like you hear about reprisals in international politics.
Yeah.
If you cross our borders, the reprisal will be an attack, or the reprisal will be a denunciation in the United Nations, or something like that. So you might hear it in a very official use. Okay, if all those words are pretty much clear, let's jump ahead and actually read the article, and then I want to get your reaction. As we go along, I'm going to be asking you a few questions. The person who's reading, I'm not going to ask the question to the person who's reading. I'm going to ask the question to the people who are listening. Okay? If you have a question, you can also ask as well. But I want to make sure that you're all paying attention. So as people read, I'm going to pick people randomly and ask them questions about the paragraph at the end. So one question per paragraph. Okay, Alina, you start us off with the first paragraph, please.
Okay. Pizza chains, angry staff launch protests over slice taken off their hard-earned tips. Lisa Bachelor, 9th August 2015.
1 second. Let's get the name right, though. Bachelor.
Bachelor.
Right. That CH is a ch sound. Bachelor.
Okay, bachelor.
Okay.
Angry waiters are asking for public support in a battle to keep their tips. Pizza Express branches are to be targeted by protesters in an attempt to get the restaurant chain to stop taking a proportion of tips for staff that have been paid on credit and debit cards. Campaigners have also started an online petition in the hope that restaurant goers will support their demands.
Okay, very good. You know what? I lost my questions. Give me a second here. Ah, here it is. Okay. So, very good. By the way, just a few corrections about where the word stress is. So, repeat after me. First of all, we have protesters. First syllable, protesters.
Protesters.
Good. Not protesters, because protest, to protest.
Okay.
Yeah,
protest.
it's always the first syllable. It's always the first syllable, yeah. And that was the first one. Also, campaigners. Second syllable. Campaigners.
Campaigners.
Good. Not campaigners. That would be wrong in the first syllable. Okay, and finally, online petition. Second syllable. Petition.
Petition.
That's it. Very good. Giancarlo, I want to ask you the first question. What happens when you tip with a credit card at this fast food establishment? What's the controversial thing that happens?
Okay, the waiters wanted to or want to receive their tips, because when the customers pay by credit card, the restaurant gets the tips, not the waitress or waiters.
Yeah, well, they get a portion of the tips. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not the full tips, but they get a portion. Okay, great. Great. Dogs. Dogs. Okay. So, Giancarlo, can you take number 2 for us?
Yes. Pizza Express keeps us an admin fee
8p.
8p out of every...
P stands for pence, by the way, because it's British currency. So 8p means 8 pence.
8 pence. Pizza Express keeps us an admin fee 8 pence out of every £1 paid when tips are given by card. This is a policy that has made some employees angry. The chain, which has 430 branches around the UK and is particularly popular with families, makes around £1. What's the meaning of them?
£1 million.
£1 million a year from the practice, according to the union Unite.
Okay, very good, very good. And Jose, if they only take 8p from every pound that they get, why is this controversial? I mean, it's such a small amount of money. Why is it controversial? What do you think, Jose?
I think it's controversial because they disagree with this practice, I think.
So the people who are receiving money, they don't agree with it, but they have no choice. Yeah, I think so too.
It's a rule.
It's a rule they have to follow. They have no choice.
Yes. They have to follow this rule. They don't have another election.
Right, right.
Another choice.
Another choice. Okay, good. Jose, can you take number 3 for us?
Okay, number 3. We believe this 8% fee is unfair, and that if the chain values its staff, it should be paying them the total tips they are given by customers, said Chantal Chegrinek of Unite.
Of
Unite. We are starting with Pizza Express, but they are not the only ones, and we will turn our attention to other companies after this.
Okay, very good, very good. Mr. Mohammed, how does this practice of taking the tips, how does that reflect on Pizza Express's attitude towards their staff? Listen to that question again, because it might be a little confusing. How does the practice of taking tips reflect Pizza Express's attitude towards staff? This is your opinion, but it's your opinion based on paragraph number 3.
I think staff become angry because it's not fair.
And so, how does that reflect how does that reflect the fast food chain's attitude? What does that say about their attitude towards staff?
I think they will ignore them.
You think that Pizza Express is ignoring the staff?
I think that.
Why? Tell me why.
Because they see the incoming first for them.
Wait, I don't know who you're talking about. Who sees the income for them? Who are you talking about?
The head department of the chain.
The head of the chain?
Yes.
Continue.
The head of the chain see the incoming first, not
income. You mean the money, the income?
Yes.
Ah.
The profit only.
Okay. So when you say they see the income first, you mean that the income is more important than the staff. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Ah, okay. I understand now. So the head of the chain sees the income as more important than the staff. Therefore, they ignore the staff.
Yes.
Got it. Now I understand. Okay. Yeah. It does seem to be that way. I agree with you. Okay, Mohammed, can you take number 4 for us?
Okay. The protests are being organized by local branches of Unity,
This is Unite.
Unite. Of
Right.
Unite. The first is taking place at British Museum branch of Pizza Express in London. The union has also written to the restaurant chief's CEO,
Oh, doesn't say chief. Look again. Doesn't say chief.
chief,
Doesn't say chief. It says chains. Restaurant chains.
restaurant chains, CEO, Unity,
Unite.
began the campaign following a survey of its Pizza Express members after the chain was sold to Chinese company in 2014. One of the top issue was 8%
Deduction.
deduction from their tips.
Okay. So think about that for a minute, everyone. Think about that paragraph. And this question is going, my next question is going to go to, give me a second here. Who's after you? To Sylvia. Sylvia, what is Unite? And how did they discover this practice? So that's actually two questions. What is Unite? And how did they discover this practice of taking 8%? And this is based on paragraph 4. So all the information is there.
Unite is a
person?
No, Unite is an
animal? No?
It's organization, I think.
Correct. It's an organization. Okay. ¿Cómo se dice sindicato en inglés?
Union trade.
Trade union.
Trade union.
That's right. It's a trade union. It's a trade union.
Okay.
Okay? So you can say syndicate, but we don't usually use that word. We say union, trade union, something like that.
Trade
okay?
Union.
So that answers the question. What is Unite? Unite is a trade union that represents employees.
Mm-hmm.
How did it discover the practice of tip taking? How did Unite discover that the pizza chain was taking tips?
Because Pizza Express was sold to a Chinese company, and they discovered that practice.
How did they discover it? That's my question. Not if they were sold, but how did Unite discover? Take a look at paragraph 4. It's all there. Look right in the middle of the paragraph.
Through a survey.
Exactly. Exactly. How do you say survey in Spanish?
Encuesta.
There you go. That's it. So they did a survey of employees at different chain restaurants or fast food chains because they are representing workers, particularly ones who don't have a contract, you know, or they have a contract but it's basically like a freelance contract. So, you know, it's a union that's not really a union because labor has been completely pushed out of the UK and the United States. So this is something that's starting to change right now in the last couple of months. It's a really big change that's happened recently. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, Sylvia, why don't you continue with paragraph 5 on the next page?
Okay. One disgruntled.
Nope. One disgruntled.
Disgruntled Pizza Express employee who wants to remain anonymous say that the admin fee was costing her £3 a night, I have worked at Pizza Express for 15 years, she said in a letter to Unite. After all this time, I still only pay the national minimum wage of £6.50 an hour. So you see
Uh-oh.
my
Wait.
what?
£6.50.
£6.50
That's
an
it.
hour. So you see my colleague and I are very reliant on customer tips to top up our low wages. I work hard and I am good at my job. But when Pizza Express thinks it can get away with taking a percentage of for hard-earned tips left on our card, I get upset.
Okay, very good. Repeat after me. Hard-earned.
Hard-earned.
That's right. Notice it's
Earned.
not earned. It's never, we never add an extra syllable, except if it ends with a T. Like rocket can become rocketed. Or if it ends with a D. Demand becomes demanded. But there are no other cases in English where you add an extra syllable in the past tense. So here it's a good example. Hard-earned.
Hard-earned.
No?
Earned.
Yeah.
Earned.
Right. Earned.
Earned it.
You're adding a did. There's no did. No did. Not hard-earned did, but hard.
It's only the D.
It's only the D. Correct.
Earned.
Perfect.
Okay, hard-earned.
And it's always only the D. Always. The only exception is a word. I'll write this in the chat window. Words that end in T or D get get an extra syllable. All other words that do not end in T or D sound like a D or a T. Those are the two possible sounds. Here it's the D sound. So there's no E. You don't say the E. Hard-earned. Okay?
Okay.
I have a question for Mr. Vincenzo. Mr. Vincenzo, what is minimum wage? Because this paragraph 5 mentions minimum wage. What is minimum wage? And why is it so important to point out? Why does this employee mention it? What is minimum wage and why is it important to mention, do you think?
I think it's the minimum salary that he could receive for his work.
Yeah.
That is established, I don't know, from the trade union, I think, something like this. Yeah.
Well, by the government, actually.
By the government, yes. But
I say it's by the government because minimum wage applies to all workers, so it's really a law. Whereas the trade union could set amounts that are higher. They could stipulate a higher amount, but they can't stipulate a lower amount. So, so minimum wage is set by the government. Yeah.
Yes.
What's the minimum wage in Italy, by the way?
I don't know exactly. It depends from the type of work, and I don't think that it's possible to establish a common minimum wage.
Oh, Portugal has a common minimum wage. Spain has a common minimum wage. What's the Sylvia, Jose? What's the minimum wage in Spain now? Is it 800 euros?
640 euros per month.
640? Are you sure?
It's so low.
Yes. I'm sure.
I honestly, I heard it was
640 euros per month.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's for that I am living in London.
Right. Okay.
In Portugal, it's higher than in Spain, no?
No, it's lower.
It's lower.
It's lower. That's why there's been demonstrations going on for 5 years. Because it's a mess. It's not much lower, but it's lower. Okay, so Vincenzo, we know what minimum wage is.
Is there some kind of works that can go below the minimum in this way? But I don't understand very well this about the minimum wage, because there are dependent from the hours that you work or not. Also,
that's different. If you're a freelancer, then it's different. Minimum wage doesn't apply to you. If you're a freelancer, it's different. Yeah, because if you set your own hours, then sure, it's different. Okay, Vincenzo, I want you to do 6 and 7 for us. Okay? We're almost out of time, so let's finish the article. Go ahead. 6. Start with number 6.
Okay. Ask and Zizi to other restaurants. Oh dear.
Uh-oh, dogs. Uh-oh.
Restaurant chains also deduct 8%. Oh, no, it's impossible. Deduct 8% of the tips paid by card. But other chains deduct even more. Café Rouge, Bella Italia, and Belgo deduct 10%, so do Strada, how can I pronounce? And Giraffe.
Just ignore the dogs. Don't worry. Don't worry.
A spokesperson for Pizza Express said that its admin charge was to cover the cost of running a trunk, a pay arrangement used to distribute tips among staff. We made big efforts to set up this trunk system, which is run by staff. They independently decide how tips made by electronic card payment are distributed between the restaurant's team. It is a system run by employees for the employees, she said. But yes, for me it seemed very strange, all this problem about the tip, because a person should be paid about his work in the right way. No. I don't accept.
But that's the point.
That the salary could be given from other people, from the client of the restaurant. It's impossible.
Yeah, but it is. But it is. In the United States, there's a special wage called a waitering wage. If you are a waiter, I don't know about now, but 20 years ago, when I used to be a bartender and waiter when I was in university, I remember I earned $2.90 an hour, and the rest of my money came from tips, and I had to declare my tips to the tax authorities. I had to tell the tax office how much I got tipped, and I had to pay a percentage of tax based on my tips. I really had to do it.
Yes, this is against the concept of extra money. If I give you some extra money, it's it's impossible. But perhaps
it's not for that. It's because if the company do that, you pay attention in your work. You give a better customer service. That is the strategy of the companies here.
No.
So in the UK, so you're saying in the UK, it's. By the way, I don't know.
For example, when I work, I don't have tips, but I have like a bonus. If all of us do a good job, we have £1 more per hour. Because our work is better.
Yes, it is up to the company, no, not to the clients, not to the. Okay, that's good. You can't impose a tip to the client.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. I got kicked out. Sorry. I wanted to ask everyone. So now you've got a little bit of background about what's happening in the UK. Here's a question for you. What do you think about this statement? Listen to the statement. It would be better to increase wages so that people do not rely on tips. What do you think about that statement? Let's start with Alina first. What do you think about that statement, Alina? Could you hear me okay?
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't see the statement in the text.
I didn't say. I just said it. It's not written.
Oh, okay.
It's spoken.
Could you repeat, please?
Sure. The statement is, tell me if you agree or disagree. Here it is. It would be better to increase wages so people do not need to be tipped. Do you agree or do you disagree?
Oh, that depends on, because tips was made in order to make the job, the work better.
Right.
And that depends on the country it's used.
Mm-hmm. So for you, in your country, you don't agree with it.
Yes, I don't agree with it.
Giancarlo, what do you think?
I totally agree. Wages must be increased, and employees shouldn't depend on tips, because tips is like an extra money that you earn for your service. But of course, if you are a well-paid employee, you are going to work better because
Right.
you are treated like a human being.
Absolutely. So we got one disagreement and one agreement. Mr. Mohammed, what do you think about that statement? Let's get one more opinion here. Wages should be increased and people should not need to be tipped. What do you think, Mohammed?
I agree, because sometimes some people give steps in a not gentle language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by not gentle exactly? Can you give me an example?
They feel he feels that he in a high level more than the employee.
Mm-hmm. So maybe people are less willing to tip in a low-level job or low-level service.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not very fair, basically, I think is what you mean. Okay, very good. I have a second statement for you. Listen to this statement, class. I do not tip. After all, waiters are already getting paid for their job. I do not tip because waiters and waitresses already get paid. So tipping is unnecessary. Sylvia, agree or disagree?
Disagree. It's true
Because?
that they are paying for their jobs, but
Right.
if that person gives you a good customer service,
Right.
it's like a plus because you have a better service than normally.
Right, right. Okay, good. Vincenzo, do you agree or disagree with that? I don't agree with tipping because waiters and waitresses already get wages. Agree or disagree, Vincenzo?
I agreed with the fact that the waiter or waitress should be paid in the right way, but also that the tip is not compulsory, but is a discretion of the client.
Mm-hmm. At the discretion of the client, right?
Yeah.
At the client's discretion. Good word, discretion. Okay, very good. Jose, final opinion goes to Jose.
Yes, I disagree because in Spain it's not so much common to give tips. But I think in some countries, if the waiter or waitress don't receive some tips, they could be angry.
Mm-hmm. Hungry or angry?
Angry. Hungry, no,
okay.
Angry.
If they don't get paid enough, they might be hungry too.
Yes.
You never know. All right. Okay, well, very good. Listen, everyone, you've got some vocabulary exercises. If you'd like to try them on the presentation that I gave you, feel free to do them and ask me questions in the Verbling message window. If you have any questions, try those vocabulary windows try those vocabulary exercises as a little homework. We're going to stop our discussion here, and I'll be back in just a minute or two to do our business basics class.
Okay.
We're going to do the final class, the money unit. We had a little discussion on Monday. Today we're going to do our activity, so stick around for that. Great discussion, everyone.
Bye
For now. See you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye, teacher.